Okay, I'm going to go ahead and run through the assignment for today, and it's for Python strings. Remember to get it done because actually this is going to count as a double assignment, mainly because we didn't start it when we are supposed to. But regardless, it does cover enough material for two assignments. Okay, so today you're going to basically look at strings and how Python uses them uh, as far as output. So the um, the whole thing is that strings are actually like they're actual words with letters, but you're thinking about it in the terms of English words, but a computer doesn't see them that way. They see them as in bits. Like every letter has a certain a number that the computer recognizes. So if I have, let's say, like the word it, the computer sees two letters and it has its own individual code for that. So when we look at strings, the computer looks at it as bits of information, and that's why each word can be manipulated, and that's what we're going to work on today. So um, one of the things that we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to W3 Schools. So we go to the web page. You have to forgive me, my mouse is not working correctly, so I'm trying the best I can. Go to the web page, open up this section right here. Now, if you remember, I don't know if I mentioned in the other video, but if you go to documents and open up the document, what it is I try to make this document correspond with what's going on over here on the website. So, in other words, right here it says quotations double and single. Right here, it's not going to say quotations double and single, but I'm trying to get it so it kind of matches up. And if you notice, the very first thing they're talking about is how we put strings in either single or double quotations. So that's the first thing we're going to work on, is just making sure that we understand that. Sorry, I'm probably just going to use my arrow keys. Anyway, so that we actually can manipulate this. If you notice, it has a double quotation or a single. It should still work. So the only code change you have is change hello to your name. Remember, type in your name, not don't type in your name. Type in, like, my name is Mr. Winslow. I put Mr. Winslow. So right here, I'll go to try it yourself. It's going to open up the editor. Now remember, these are all individual tabs, so as soon as you finish, you have to close them. So what I'll do is I will delete this. I'll type in Mr. Winslow. Delete this and type in Mr. Winslow. And I just want to make sure everything's working correctly. So then I'm going to hit run. And it works. And then you take a picture of this, take a screenshot of this piece right here, all of this piece right here, and then turn that in. That's what actually goes where it says um, on the sheet. Sorry, I'm going to try to keep this out of the way. I don't know why it keeps on coming back and forth, but it says then screenshot the code and results, and that's where that's would be screenshotted at. Okay, so the next one is assign strings to variable. So assign strings to variable is the next thing. If you can look at it right there, and I'm going to arrow down. Assign a string to variable is done with the variable name followed by equal sign. So I don't have any notes right here. Usually I'll try to keep some notes right here if they're important, but you actually done this exercise before. I just want to do it a refresher. So I'm going to go ahead and punch try next, and it says the only thing you need to do is change hello to your name. So go back over here again, type in your name, punch run, and copy or screenshot this piece. Remember, when you screenshot, you're gonna have to copy. If I was to do a screenshot, I'd do a shift, control, the button above the 6. I'm not sure what button that is, but then I'd select just this piece right here. And every time if you're doing your Chromebook, you have to copy to clipboard. Remember though, at home, if you're on a regular computer or Windows computer, I should say, it'll automatically usually save it for you. So then I'm gonna copy and paste it right here. I'm just gonna give you an example. I gotta erase it or else it'll show up on your end. So when I do that, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, let me go ahead and go back so that way you don't get confused. Okay, so the next one is, let me go ahead and close this tab because I don't need that one anymore, but I still need this one open. The next one is multi-line strings. Now, I'm going to try to talk about this real quick. The thing is, you can use you can use 3 double or single quotes for multi-line. In the result, the line breaks are inserted by the same position as in the code. In other words, if you look here, you do 3 double quotations to open it and 3 to close it. That's you kind of remember that from the other coding that we did. When you start something, you have to finish it. So it's kind of this is one of the few things that matches up with that. What they mean by breaks is, if you notice right here, when I go to the next line by hitting enter, the printout will be exactly the same. So let's go ahead and look at that real quick. So um, if you notice, you basically have what's there, and I think the instructions say on this one. This is a little bit different. It says for variable A, find a long quote, copy and paste between the. Okay, so for this one, you're actually going to have to go do a little bit of work. You're going to actually have to go to the internet, find a poem. It's up to you as long as it's appropriate. I say that because some of you guys are getting tired, and I know you want to do silly things. Um, just go ahead and go to a poem, find a poem. I mean, your favorite poem, that's fine. But, oh goodness, I'm sorry. My mouse is, it's not my mouse. I just have two things at one time. So let's just say I had, and of course, I'm telling you to make it easy, and I'm making it harder on myself. So, I don't know, I'll probably put Frost for Robert Frost. And, um, he's, I'm kind of partial to Robert Frost. I like his work. But I don't see any poems, though. Just maybe if I click on it. Okay, sorry, I had to pause it for a second. So, anyways, I found one, and I'm going to go ahead and select this piece and highlight just this section. I'm going to Control C it. I'm going to go back to Try It Editor, and I'm going to go ahead and select just the inside of the quotations. I'm going to paste it. Now, if it comes in as a whole unit, okay, you see how that is? So if I punch run, now if what I was trying to say is if it comes out as a whole bunch of words put together, you can put some breaks in there. And any kind of break you put, like a hard return, if I do that and I punch run, it's going to make the change. So basically, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and do that, but I also want you just to kind of test it. Control C, go right here, make a space so you can kind of see the difference, and change these double quotes to single quotes. But remember, there's three of them. So it's got to be in threes. This can't be in twos. So, make that real quick. Then punch run to see if it works. So you'll see the poem come out twice, is what you should, just to make sure that everything's working. Oh, I understand why I didn't put a space in between. So it's there. It's just not, it's not looking like I want it, but that's fine. That's the way it's supposed to work. So then you take a screenshot of that and make sure you copy it, and then you're gonna paste it on the document, and then we're gonna go and move on to number 4. Okay, so number 4 says strings and arrays. So I don't know if I did that. I bet you I didn't. So I guess I'll. On some of these, you're gonna see this right here. You're gonna see the next button. You see it right there. I forgot to do it with this one, so I guess I'm gonna put it in there. You'll see it before you actually see it on the video. So let me go ahead and get to that piece right here. Let me pause for a second so I can add that in. Oh, you know what? I said that, but now I'm looking at it. Strings and arrays is actually right below this activity. So now we're dealing with strings, our arrays, and the only code change we got to make is, of course, hello world. Put hello your name and the number. Pick any number from 7 through 10. In other words, just pick another number besides 1. So I'll go show you how that looks. I gotta move it up. I'm gonna try to ignore this, but it's mainly to help you. Me do highlights for and everything, but it's just easier to point it out on a video. So I punch try it yourself. It's gonna open up the new tab, and of course I said change this to your name. So I'm gonna put Mr. Winslow, and then I said change this from anything between 7 and 10. So I'm gonna put 8, and I punch run. And you're probably thinking, well, that's just an R. Well, that's kind of true, but if you go count out the characters, now remember this is 0. The first one's 0. That's where all the computer starts, is just 0. Even though we start counting at 1 most of the time, they start counting 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because 6 is a space, and it's still a space. 7 and 8, and 8 lands us on the R. And to kind of test it out, go ahead and just put a couple of numbers in there if you want to. Punch 0, it should be the H coming out. And the reason this is super important is later on, if we're working with coding and we're inputting data, we can tell the computer what specific piece we need to work with. So we'll know exactly how to manipulate it. And that's what we're basically working on today, is manipulation of the string. Okay, so go ahead and close that. Well, make sure you copy it, because you're gonna have to paste it right there. So now we're on number 5. Number 5 is it's not looping through strings. We're going with string length. So if that's true, yep. To get the length of the string, use the len function. So if you notice right here, they got the len function. The only thing you need to slow down. Slow down. Oh, the numbers are off. Oh gosh, that's going to throw us off a little bit. I'll fix that in just a few minutes. Hello world to your name, and then print A. You're going to add this. You keep the same code, but you're going to add this. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. First thing, probably easier to just add what I asked. So print A. And if you're kind of keeping up with everything that we've been doing, you'll understand that all that's going to do is just reprint the whole piece that's up here. So I should see length, which it already is. It shows you what it's going to print out. But now I should see 13 and then hello, Mr. Winslow underneath it. Well, actually, it's going to be more than 13, because now that I've changed it, I've changed the length of the string. So screenshot that, take it over here and paste it. And let's see, then I'm going to screenshot, and this should be number 6. Well, it's going to throw all of my numbers off. Let me fix that real quick. There's not that many, but it does throw it off, and then I might be referencing a number, and you'll be like, well, which one is he on? 7. So you got 8. 9. And if you can see where I'm working through them, you can see the next ones and stuff like that. But you can also see some of them starting to combine because it makes it a little bit easier for both of us, and you're still getting the same information. So 11. We'll still have enough information for 2 days worth of work right here. For you guys that are in one class, it's a 1 day work, so don't get confused. When I say 2 days, I'm talking about the fact that I have first and eighth period together every day, and you guys only have once every other day. So the work I give you basically covers 2 days. Okay, so slicing strings. You can return a range of characters by using the slice syntax. Specify the start index and the end index separated by a colon to return a part of the string. Note the first character has an index number of 0, and we talked about that a few minutes ago. So I'm going to go ahead and close this to make sure I get rid of that. So string length we just did. Check string. I'm going to skip that one just for later that we can work with that. And let me see if I got that correct. Yeah, so we gotta go to the next button. If you saw underneath it, you saw the next. Once you see that next one, it means I went to the next page. Slicing strings. We talked about that. You can tell the computer to give you a specific character printout. Um, you can also tell the computer to start from the beginning and only print to the character that stops at number 5. So I got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it won't print that out. It should just print out the hello part. We're going to test that in just a second. And then it says right here, by leaving the end index, the range will go to the end. So if you notice on this one, it says from 2 all the way to the end. So it's going to go from the second character, which is um, 0, 1, 2. It's going to leave that one out, and it's going to go, it should go low world. Let me double check that one to see, because yep, that's what it is. Now, don't worry, we're going to work with some of this in just a second. I just want to test that for my own knowledge. Negative index, we're not going to work with that one right now. So let's go back and see what we're actually doing. Let me go up here. I'm going to go to this, and it says we're looking for the one that says hello world print 2 through 5. So that should be the very first one. Yep, there it is. So I'm going to punch try it yourself. And that'll bring up this one right here. Now this is the tricky part, is saying change hello world to hello your first and last name. So hello world, we're changing to Joe Winslow. Then it says we're going to add, well, it already has this one, so no, actually we're changing it. We're changing this to print 7 to 11. You'll see this word is add specifically, and this is and. In other words, we're changing those two things. So 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven. So 7-Eleven, like the store. So go 7 and 11. Don't forget that colon. Now, before I run it, just let's think about the code real quick. Kind of think in your mind, what is it going to do if I hit run? So think about that for a second. I'm going to go ahead and add in the last thing. And then it says add print B. So print B, of course, we know is just going to basically reprint what you what you did. Okay, well, maybe I'll touch that. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm thinking out ahead. Well, I'll go back to it in a second. So now 7 to 11, it's going to go from, oh, okay, I made a mistake. What do you think I made a mistake on? Well, if you said, hey, Mr. Winslow, you forgot the parenthesis, you're exactly right. If I have no parentheses, the computer is looking for something to print. And I punch run again, and this should work now. And there it is. And if you notice the first 7 to 11, of course, I'm lucky because my name is kind of short. So um, that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Starts working on number 7. Goes 8, 9, 10, and it doesn't print the 11th. So if I really want a W, I would just change that to a 12, and then I'd run it. And I say Joe W. So go ahead and take a screenshot of that. Stick it right there. And where it says the screenshot and code results. And now we're ready to move on to number 8. Okay, so I kind of jumped the gun on the leaving the start index part, but I'm going to go ahead and work with it says B, the one that says B to 5. And if you go back to this one right here, you'll notice it's 2 to 5. Keep going down, and that's the next one. So I'm going to go try next. It opens a tab up. Now let's kind of see what we need here. Well, it says by leaving out the start index, the range will start at the first character, which means that what I mean is by leaving out the start index like this, like you don't put a number, but you put a colon, and then a number at the end, or by leaving out the end index, the range will go to the end. In other words, if I put a number at the beginning and then don't put one at the end, it'll start from the point that it says um, this number here, but go all the way to the end. And it's easier to illustrate than actually talk about. So the code changes you're going to make are hello world to hello your name, and you're going to add, and let me fix that real quick. You're going to add print B7 colon bracket. So just make sure you get that code put in there. So I'm going to change my hello world to, this is where you kind of still put your name. I should have put first and last name, sorry. But I mean, try to get that done like that. Um, if you don't, you can just put your first name, that's fine. And then we're going to add a print statement where it says B bracket, what was the numbers? I forgot. 7. And there's a specific reason why I picked 7, and you'll figure it out once you look at it for a second. And then I punch run, and it's going to give me 2 different printouts. One of them that should just say hello, and the other one, oh, actually, yeah, there you go. And actually, the next one, it's going from number 7 all the way to the end. And just to count it out, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 starts on J and goes all the way to the end. So just make you understand how to index that. And you probably wonder, well, why is that important? Well, we kind of gave an example right here. Let's say we're doing something and we're entering data, and we only want certain pieces of the data. Let's just say I only want my last name to be printed out on the screen. I would tell the computer print B, not 7, but starting from this character right here. Now it's kind of hard to do that because what happens is if my name is longer than a certain character number, then of course it's going to start on the number I said. So we'll talk about that more when we start doing input. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. Remember, you're going to take a screenshot, stick it right there, and then we're going to the next page. Now I know this video is kind of long, but remember, you're covering basically the whole class. You're not online. I mean, you're not getting a video stream put in, but you can do this at your own pace. So let's see now. Where are we at? We're on number 9. So we got 9, 10, 11, and that's it. We got 9, 10, 11. We got 3 more. So these are when we're starting into the bigger ones, and I might start having to do this so that we can cover a lot of ground faster. So modifying strings. Python has a set of built-in methods that you can use on strings. We will look at some some all at once. It should be. I was like, what is that? The upper method, the lower method, which basically the upper method takes all the strings and makes them uppercase. The lower method takes the whole string and makes it lowercase. The white space, um, okay, so the white space is the strip. It's the strip command. I guess I should put that in there. Let me put that in there. So it's the strip part, and that's part of a code. So I'm not going to put that one in. I'm not going to put that one in brackets or anything. So, and then the replace method, and that replaces the strings with another string. Now, the strip part is basically we're taking out white space. So if white space, if you don't know what the definition is white space is like a blank area. So if you're taking a photo and you look up and you have a person standing there and they take a picture and they got a whole bunch of wall behind them, and it's like you see their head, and the head is kind of like towards the bottom of the photo, and you got a bunch of space to the top of the picture. That's called white space. Now you can take it out by cropping it, and the same thing happens in programming. We can crop out or take out spaces. So now, if you notice, there's going to be a lot of adding, and then you also got to notice when you add this piece, please put the spaces so you can see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and go to I think it wants us to go to the first one. Let me see. I'm not sure. Ooh, you know what? I don't even have one on here, do I? So let me put that in there. That's a good catch for the video. So we'll go with the uppercase. I'll just go ahead and click like that. Ooh, is it allowing me to do it? Yeah, I will. So what I'm going to do is, sorry, my mouse is just killing me. Um, So I'm going to do like that, copy to clipboard. And that's how easy it is to copy something to a clipboard. So I'm going to paste it right there, Control V. So we're working with this try it section. And we're going to be making a couple of additions. So make sure you understand what you're adding. You're adding, are we changing anything? No, don't change it. So don't change the hello world part this time. I was just trying to make it a little bit easier on you. So all we're adding is B equals quotation, hello, your name, open quotation, but put some spaces in there. So if I was going to do it correctly, of course, I'd put it like this. I'd put B equals, so it makes it look at least proper. Put a bunch of spaces. Hello, Mr. Winslow. Space, 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 space. Put some spaces in there. And now we can add in the print a lower. And if you notice, it's real similar to the print B one. So basically, just instead of putting upper, you're going to put lower. So A dot lower. There, that one's done for lower. Now what's the next one? It says print B dot strip. So instead of lower, now we're putting strip. Oh, but you know what? There was a difference. It says B. And so we're taking the variable b and working with that one. So I'm going to do print b dot lower. No, what did I say? Strip. That's what I said. So strip, and there you go. So that one's done. And the last one was print a dot replace. Okay, so this is the kind of weird one. What we're going to do is, so print, and we're replacing H with J. So you got a big screen at school or at home. Maybe you can split it up or somehow, but just take your time. So what I'm doing is print. I'm gonna have to switch back. I think a dot replace. What's the code? And now I'm gonna tell the thing what we're actually changing. So it's H. You got to get the code right though. Oh, comma and with J. So comma with a J, like that, and close the parenthesis up. Remember, you're still missing a parenthesis, because remember we open one here, just like in math. You have a parenthesis, you got to close it up, and then that should be it. And I punch run and see if it'll work. Let's see, it should work. I don't see anything wrong with my code. Okay, so if you notice the first one, uppercase. Second one, lowercase. Third one, what it did was it took off all these white spaces that I have in and after. And the reason why that's important is because sometimes when you're doing data entry, like you're inputting stuff, sometimes people hit a space by accident, like even on a password, and the computer will, if it's told not to hold that space, it'll hold the space. And the next time you're like punching your password, you'll be like, hey, what's the deal? I should be able to use the code I have, but you don't realize you created a space on the first one. And that's why we have you set a password and then they have you verify the password, because sometimes you hit the wrong button and it can mess everything up. So anyways, going to the last one, if you notice, I replaced H with a J and it says Jello World. So that you take basically a screenshot of that and you're done with this one. Now I know this was a longer one, but you know. Okay, so next, we're almost done. I know this is a long video, so hang in there. Next, I'm going to close this up. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to scroll down to lowercase. I've already gone through white space. I did replace, but I didn't do split, and we're not going to worry about that one right now. So I'm going to go next. And also, if you notice, if you guys are at home, I don't know, some of the students at school will get this, but the string method of reference, if you click that, there's a ton of references that it goes to that tells us how to manipulate the code. I'm not going to go through them in class right now. We're going to probably touch on some in class, but you see all those actually can be used during coding. So let me go back. Sorry, I shouldn't have thrown that in. I know the video is getting longer. So next. Okay, I'm trying to move as fast as I can now. So string concatenation. Now I looked this word up. I still don't know what the word means. Basically, what in a nutshell, what it is trying to put some stuff together. So to combine, and the word means to combine is what it means, but it says to combine two strings, you can use the plus operator to put two things together. So the very first one, we're going to merge variable A with variable B into variable C. And the second one, we're going to add a space between the, and so we're going to have to add, we're going to have to add a space. So the very first one, we're going to do hello world, and it's that C plus. So let me see if we're on that right now. Yep. So we're on that one. So we're going to use this screen. That way we can display what we need to do. So let me see what we're changing. So code change, add D equals A plus space, but remember the quotations, plus B, add D. So really we're just adding a couple more things. So I'm going to go D equals A plus quotation. Well, you can put some spaces in there if you want to, but quotation, space, quotation, the adding sign and B. And so that tells the computer D will be that. But now we have to also tell the computer I have to print D. So I got to put print, quote, parenthesis, D and close parenthesis. And I punch run. And bang. You see the space I put in there? So that's pretty much all I need you to know is that if you want to add spaces, all you have to do is use the add together. There's some things coming up that are really important. And I think this last piece is this last activity is the one that, so you notice it's on the next page. So I'm going to go up here, scroll down to the next button. That was pretty short. So this is the last one. This is formatting strings. Um, I know it's been a long, probably about 30 minutes or so. So the format method takes unlimited number of arguments and are replaced into respective placeholders. So there are a couple ways we're going to do this, but I'm going to do it the easiest way. When you create data and you have numbers with them, you can tell the computer, I want to create a string with all this stuff in here, but I'm going to designate some spaces that are designated for quantities that are going to be put in here or numbers. So if you notice on the first one, it says quantity equals 3, item no, which is item number, is 567, price is 49.95. And so it says, I want blank pieces of item blank for blank dollars. So this is kind of normal when you're doing real programming because sometimes it's just like Walmart. You go in there and it asks you quantity needed. Well, on the receipt, you're going to see how many things you actually did because it's printing it out. So then you have your print statement. It says print my order dot format. So you're telling the computer, hey, I'm about to do something different. So format's a special word for Python, and it says format quantity, item no, and price. So it knows that quantity goes in the first bracket. It knows that item no goes in the second bracket. It knows price goes in the third bracket. Now the only thing you need to do in this one is just change some numbers so it looks different. Try to keep the price thing similar. Don't forget the dot so it makes it look good. And then you're adding a dollar sign. And I'll show you that in a few minutes where that goes. And so on this one, we're working with the very first one, I think. I'm not sure. Let me see. Nope, not the first one. Sorry, I'm almost done. I guess I'm getting tired of talking too. So you go Control Shift. Oh, no, it's not Control Shift. We're not taking a screenshot. So I'm going to go to Try It Yourself, and I'm going to change this quantity number. So let's just put 5. And then I'm going to put an item number. Just, you can come up with some weird number like 57.75. Price, you can even just change one digit. That's fine. 5. Now, I want blank pieces of item blank for dollars. Now, when I say dollar sign, a good coder still thinks about what the person's looking at when it's all said and done. If you notice right here, there's no dollar sign, so I want to kind of put that in there. So print my order dot format quantity item number price. And we didn't change anything, we just changed the numbers. I think that's all we're supposed to change. Yep, that's it. And this is more or less just to show you how coding is run through. You can mess with it if you want to, play around with it just to see the numbers changing and everything. But so quantity 5, I want 5 pieces of item 5775 for $59.95. Um, in fact, that is kind of redundant right there because I put the dollar sign and the dollar sign takes the place of dollars, so I'm going to erase that. Uh, I'll put that on the sheet too. Right here, I'll put delete. Uh, dollars. So we see the word delete. You're gonna have to delete a word is what it is, or something. So I'm gonna put that up there, and I'll try to explain it to the ones. Now I'm not gonna put quotations around it. We'll just know that you have to delete dollars. Okay. So the last thing is to just run it to make sure I didn't mess anything up, and see how it looks. Yep. And if we really, 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 really uh, get technical, you could easily put a hashtag, because it used to be a pound sign was the number sign, and that's why sometimes you'll hear me say number sign. You'll be like, "What's that?" It's a hashtag. You guys call it hashtags. My generation call it a pound sign or a number sign. And that's pretty much it for this exercise. I know it's been a long, long thing, but just make sure you turn everything in, copy of it of this, and you got the exercise done. Have a good day.